everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. It's Saturday here at Sky Ranch, and I thought that I would make us a little tea cakes and some chocolate for brownies for some wine for a Saturday evening desserts. And here at Sky Ranch with Joan Kazmarzik, my co-host.
Hello everyone, how are you? I don't know that anyone knows what Sky Ranch is about.
Well, I mean, we're doing a show on heart to heart.
Yes,
It's the
we are.
Fourth Chakra, right?
Yes.
So, Joan, you know what color the Fourth Chakra is?
Yes, I do. It's green.
She sounds rehearsed, doesn't she?
Not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, no, it's green. And so I brought here the bigger mother philodendron plant that I took the cuttings from. Now
That we
this was
planted.
very small when I got it, very small, like about half this size, maybe
Yeah.
a third of this size, because the amount of, like, see right now something just kind of broke off. So here's an example of a perfect time that you take this. Remember I told you could take cuttings? And since we're doing heart to heart, and the plant had a little whoopsie, because it's a lot, I have to trim it back and make little mini plants, and then I'll probably give them away to some of my friends for the holidays. But as you can see all the little root pieces coming out? See them there? Those are little root pieces. This just needs to go in some water.
Yeah. That was
So that's
very,
pretty
very
simple to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're on the heart to heart chakra. And Sky Ranch is based on a love relationship that Joan can share with you.
Absolutely. I have sled dogs.
Remember, Joan, you only have a few minutes.
I know.
I tease, because this could turn into
That could turn
days
into-
by
yes.
the fire.
Yes. So Sky was definitely my heart dog. I've had
We
many.
have pictures of Sky posted here and there.
We do.
I know I've posted a lot of pictures of her.
Exactly.
And so if you just want to go to the Facebook of Joan Kazmarzik, and it's Moon Dance Huskies. If you like huskies, I mean, we have a house, basically that is ruled by huskies, not the
That's
Chihuahua. It really isn't the Chihuahua. He's here
He
sound
likes to
asleep.
think he's in. He likes to think he's in charge. But
But go
basically,
ahead,
Sky Ranch
Yeah.
is because of Sky
Right.
and because of the love that we shared with her for 14 years.
I put that name in Under Thunder Mountain, my first book.
Yeah.
Sky, what was it called? Do you remember?
Oh my
Healing
God.
Center?
Sky Healing Center, yeah.
Sky Blossoming.
I can't
You'll have to
remember.
go and check
You'll
out
have
Under
to look.
Thunder
You'll
Mountain.
have to read the book, and you'll find out.
Then you'll know what I'm referencing.
So hence Sky Ranch.
So the heart, right? Our heart, speak from our heart, think from our heart too, combine the head and the heart together for a balanced way of handling life. Sometimes you think, oh, I'm just gonna use my logic.
You need to have both.
But
Yeah.
balance the head and the heart
Yeah.
in your decisions, and that will be cool, I think. So yeah, we have some goodies here today that
Yes,
I
we
thought
do.
we'd share a little bit of the bounty, because it is the bounty season that we're coming up to with the fall. We have equinox on the 21st.
The 21st.
And I mean, that's the full moon of Pisces is on the 20th, so it's all happening at the same time. And I like to make full moon cakes. So I made a little full moon cake. It's a blueberry cake.
She was also busy in the kitchen last night making some very, very wonderful and delectable brownies.
Nobody can see that.
Oh, nobody can see it. Okay, there you go.
Brownies.
Brownies.
These are the like chocolate mousse brownies. Lots of organic chocolate ingredient kind of stuff in it.
And they're very soft.
They're made with a stick of butter. So it's, as I said, it's like fudge.
They're so soft and they're so delicious and very chocolatey. It's not like a dry, cakey type brownie. It is melt in your mouth. Gotta love chocolate brownie.
Gotta love chocolate. Well, I hope you love chocolate.
Yes.
It's good for us. If we eat really good chocolate, it's actually good for our heart. It's good for our health. So if you do like to find little treats, you know, you can still have delicious treats without having to worry about it being damaging to your body, you know.
Exactly.
And this is Halloween time, so that kind of, you know, is always the candy. There's not a lot we can do about all the candy unless we made really nice candy. So I always say, it's only once a year.
Yeah.
I mean, once a year, if you're gonna go have, you know, Reese's peanut butter cups and Kit Kat bars, it's only once a year. If you did it every day, or
then it would be an issue.
it would be probably. Well, Joan, what are you doing with those?
Would you like one? Here we go.
Joan is serving me. Oh. Geez, the rare occasion. I'm capturing it on camera. So when we're 80 years old, right? I could go, hey, let me get that picture where you served me. I tease. Hey, listen, I did make the cupcakes too. Those
Oh my gosh,
cupcakes.
yeah, you did.
Just pop one out. They're so easy to pop out.
Yeah, they are.
And then we've got
Blueberry
that out.
muffin wood, yeah, the blueberry cookies.
Well, they're just the little blueberry cupcakes, you know.
Yeah.
So, the heart and the heart chakra, I've often shared with us, so many occasions, the rose quartz. And as you can see, I have the rose quartz right here with the plant. Because, you know, plants are, as I've said, like us, they're living creatures. And believe it or not, they like to hear music. They like to be spoken to. You can even talk to your water. I mean, you know, you can change vibrational frequencies. I don't want to get too woo-wooey. But we can. It's just...
Cat? Get woo-wooey?
I don't like the woo-wooey, so I always like to keep it grounded, you know. And, yeah, because people get concerned and they don't understand it,
Right.
and then it's like they don't get the benefit of it. And as a minister, you know, Reverend Doctor, I guess my heart for humanity is, you know, that we provide humans with the ability to gather up the data and create a mind that we can think on our own and make decisions that are within moral and ethical, you know, heart capacity places.
Right.
And so, you know.
Yeah, because it's not, when we're talking about the fourth chakra and we're talking about love, we're not just talking about romantic love, we're talking about the broader spectrum of love as well.
Right. You know, when I think of from the Christian perspective, I can give that pretty easily without having to go to thing. And even it's Freudian too, we have the eros, the erotic love, which is a part of our human nature. And we have the thanatos.
That one I don't, I'm not.
And then we have
the agape,
agape.
which is.
So we have kind of like a brotherly love, an erotic love, and a love that has no connection to any of that. It's
almost like
divine,
it's
unconditional. We often go, oh, a dog, D-O-G, G-O-D.
There we
Right?
go.
Unconditional love, right?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I asked him if he wanted to be a part of the video, and he did. So I said, okay, here we go. I think he likes to hear me talk, and he knows that I'm talking to an audience because, you know, he's just
he's used to
an
that.
animal, and they have the psychic kind of senses.
They do, most definitely. People don't give them the credit for that. They also have a lot of, again, we talk about the unconditional love, but the love of animals that you get from animals is amazing.
It is.
It really is.
I mean, you know, it is a demand, so
Yeah.
please don't get an animal just because you want to get the love, but you're not willing to put in what you need to put in to take care of it, you know. So anyway, so yeah, we were talking about the different levels of love, and just with everything else, all that is balanced and a healthy part of who we are as humans.
Right.
So, but I was saying about how even a plant will know whether you have loving feelings towards it or not. Even a blade of grass vibrates at a specific frequency. Even the planets, including Earth, make music in the universe. When it's recorded, you can hear the song of the universe, or they would call it that. You know, I think oftentimes we forget that, you know, everything has a vibrational frequency, and that is sound.
Mm. Yeah.
It's movement in air,
Yeah.
you know, it's air.
Yeah.
The wind is the voice and the mind coming, you know, out. So, you know, it's interesting that we're in a time that's challenging our air, and we're having huge debates. Legitimately so, because we live in a world of choice, and choice matters. And but we have to make the best choices for ourselves and for our collective whole. And sometimes, at least I have found, through my journey that I went through, that I had to make some choices that definitely weren't mainstream, and that definitely alienated me, and that definitely disallowed me from entrance into many different places.
Yeah.
Due to the choice that I made for my health then.
Right.
So, you know, and isolating, you know, I think it's part of our evolution, and I think it's a necessary discussion. And I think even when we're making decisions with our head, we need to be able to include in our heart. And when I look at, I guess, the system of our communication, pretty much is through portals like this, right? That we may be losing what we originally thought was going to be, we have freedom of information. When this equipment first came out, because mind you, I've said it before, we're of the older persuasion.
Yes.
So, you know, I can take you back in time. You want to go back in time with me for a minute? We have a little bit of time just to have a little heart journey. You know, we had, back in time, 3 television channels, black and white, in a tiny little TV box that you had to get up and change. Oh, Lord, you would not believe what we grew through. We created this generation of this.
And the TV went off at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it just
shut off. All the stations went off the air.
So, you know, we live in a new world now, but one of the benefits, there's always risk benefits, of having been allowed this access of information is that we were able to cross-communicate, which was beautiful, but then it got corrupted, and then people were putting up different things, and then they said we have to control the humans and disallow certain information because it's not safe for the public. But then it started getting, now, you know, we're controlling what you read, and we're controlling what you read, and we're sending you more. So it's a web. And I don't think that we want to obliterate it, but I certainly do think that we want to be aware of it from our heart perspective. And this is the generation now that can grab this and make a change so that it isn't the beast controlling to a certain extent. It will always evolve, right? I think the computer is brighter than any human now. I think
pretty much,
Well, it gathered all of our intelligence.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it put it in its big brain.
Yep.
And then it mixed it all together and it said, look what I know. You belong to me. Yeah,
You
so,
wanna do what?
so, no, I just think that that's one of the awarenesses from
Yeah.
my heart during this time when we're going through a lot of changes. But this show, even though it's hot in summer here, you can see I put a skirt on because I had another pant, but it was so hot in the kitchen. So I'm tugging a little bit, sorry. But you know,
But you got cool boots on.
yeah. Well, I didn't want everything, you know, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, as I was saying, the attitude that we can move forward in the future, being aware that we have all these different restrictions and conflictual beliefs. Again, we've had to deal with differences and conflictual beliefs throughout history. Humans, we're not all the same,
No.
and we can't all be treated the same.
Nope.
And we shouldn't all be treated the same medically. And every doctor who knows his salt knows that too.
Right.
So they bustle against the standards, and you know they have to, because it's the bigger, you know, you kind of join a gang, right? You say you don't have families, and yet you join organizations that pretty much dictate now apparently even health issues. So I don't know. I want us to be able to find our center in that, as I said, and ground ourselves, and be able to enjoy the bounties that we have and be blessed with an awareness of gratitude and a humility of appreciation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, whenever anybody thinks, at least this is what my grandmother used to say, whenever you think you have it bad, there's someone else who has it really, you know. Or if you don't like your shoes, there's someone who doesn't have any feet, you know. So that attitude of gratitude, I think, is emblematic through our heart chakra, and one of the ways we share our heart with one another is through food and some communion.
Yeah.
Saturday night, and it's about 5 o'clock. What would Joan say?
It's gotta be 5 o'clock somewhere.
So what does that mean?
That means
At
cheers.
5 o'clock, you're allowed to have a little wine.
That's
So-
5 o'clock, cheers.
So that's nice, and then again, you know, with the full moon, you want to be aware that we're cyclic, and emotions may be higher.
Yes, they might. I noticed that. I always notice that at work.
Yeah.
You know, we can always tell. We can tell when it's a full moon or a new moon
Right.
because it gets weird.
Well, it can go in every direction.
It can go in any direction, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna get the weird stuff happening, it's usually on those particular times.
The tide is
In
full. And unconsciousness, or you know, whatever they're all calling the different disorders that are coming out of this isolation.
Yeah.
And you know, we're doing the throat chakra next time. This is the heart, right? So we're up at 4. That will be 5, which is your power to speak your truth, to speak and to be heard. Okay. So it's a very important part of who we are as humans. We don't want to be a part of a herd. We want to be an individual who has the right to have their own mind thinking, applied within the reasons and the confines of whatever, perhaps even sacrifices one may make to achieve, you know, are you willing to do what it takes to achieve your desired result? In a love and light way is one of the Reiki questions, you know. If you want to start to expand and enlighten, there are changes that one would make. And are you willing to make those changes? And then you ask yourself, if you wanted to lose weight, are you willing to make the changes? You have to make some changes. If you have high blood pressure, or you're dealing with a lot of headache, anything with our body, we can make changes, and oftentimes, you can ask your doctor, they will make a difference. Now, not necessarily eliminate everything, but in a way that makes it so it's not as hard, or it helps it and it's complementary.
Right.
You'll find something.
Yeah.
But your head and your heart work together, you know, and one complements the other. Because sometimes the head is the place where the ego, that is the saboteur. And it's that self-saboteur that comes in. When you're trying to achieve a goal, just think of something simple as you wanted to lose some weight and you know, or your doctor told you can't have cake, and you know you're not supposed to have cake, and you're doing so well and you get a really good report, and then you feel so good about it and you go and have some cake. That's the saboteur. Oh, well, you did such a good job, you know, you deserve to have a little cake. Go ahead and have a little cake. And then you have the cake,
And then you feel terrible
you
because
could
you
get
have
like
cake.
a whatever, whatever it is. There's all different ways, but you know what I'm saying. The gist is that we have within our mind an ego that is not necessarily, we need it to survive, right? But it's not necessarily always in our favor. It's the funniest thing. I found when I first, had learned that a long time ago, but, like 20, 25, 30 years ago, but I was like, that's so odd. Why would my mind tell me to do something that isn't really good for me,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why we have a heart and we have a gut. And if you notice and you tap into those different source pools, they tell you something different than the other one says.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of balance it and make your decision while you weigh that.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't make a snap decision.
No, well, look at if you're a judge, if you're
Yeah.
a judge and I've said this, and someone had to do something, but, there was no malice aforethought, there was nothing, but they did it because of the need of, they were starving, the baby was sick, they went in the pharmacy and picked something up, or whatever, I don't
Right.
know. So that's evaluated differently. Why? Because there's a heart involved in it. So in the system of Libra and balancing, we're looking at how we're balancing, the not that we're under any astrological, but I'm just saying when you think of that sign, it's the,
It's the scales.
the
It's
scales of justice.
A balance. Yeah.
And when you say truth, whose truth?
Yeah.
So it's always this kind of, finding that pearl in the center is what we would have judged, or someone who's can allow themselves to look at all of the information without judgment. And that's what I'm hoping we can invite in during this time when we're having this huge evolution of how we're treating one another, and we're supposed to be like all reset and higher consciousness, and yet the same kind of stuff that was going around in a different direction is now going around in a new direction.
Right.
So we have a new enemy amongst ourselves and we're divided again.
Yeah.
Wow, aren't we evolved? So we're smarter than that, but we have a saboteur in there, Yeah. So getting in touch with that.
And I think we need to practice kindness.
Yeah,
We need to, as just putting it out there.
first of all, I've said it a million times. If you don't have it, you can't give it.
True.
So when you tell we need to practice kindness, again, that's to me one of those woo-woo things. It's like,
Okay.
really? Okay, we've needed to practice kindness since the beginning of time.
Right, and we haven't necessarily
So
done
what's
that.
missing? The ego tells that
Yep.
person at that moment, hey,
Yep.
this isn't about, okay? So that is the whole challenging tea and cakes. And tea, when they say I'm not gonna give you the tea on it, but I gave you some tea today, see? If you know what that means, you can look it up. But yeah, so Joan, did you try anything, or are you gonna?
I did take a taste of that brownie.
You did?
I couldn't
Well,
resist.
I'm gonna cut open this muffin in front of the camera for everybody,
Oh my gosh.
and
The audience is in for a treat.
I don't know,
for
because
sure.
you never know when you open a muffin.
That's true.
And that sounded funny, but it's true.
Yep.
You never know when you open up a muffin.
It's like a Christmas present.
It's like a Christmas Christmas present. Let's see. Let's see. Break it open. Ooh. There you go.
And that's fresh blueberries.
Right? Organic, you know.
Yep.
Mm. Looks
Oh
good.
my gosh.
Looks
So
good.
good. So good.
I like blueberries, you know. They're so superfoods.
Yummy.
Superfoods are so good for you.
And what's
So-
nice is it's not overly sweet.
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't like to do too much. I don't like to do the sugar. I do honey.
But the blueberries have the sweetness of themselves, and that's a beautiful thing.
Ruby likes them too. He's here. Hey, Boogie.
Crystal likes bananas.
There you
But
go.
then again, what doesn't Crystal like?
No. Well, okay, I didn't give you too much other than that, you know, we want to be loving and kind. And we know that it's not as easy as we say.
Nope.
So it's a challenge in our evolution as human beings to transcend that part of the mind that, you know, is challenged by something that triggers it. And we're all under that. Every one of us is being triggered in all different ways. And I believe it is how we handle those. And if we can treat one another with loving kindness, we have to be able to do with ourselves first. So practicing self-love and self-care. And now all the fashion people are saying, practice self-care with your clothes. So that what you pick in your fabrics and your clothes make your body go, this feels so good. And it will message the brain and help, you know, to have positive reinforcement.
Right.
So do think about, you know, the outer as well as the inner. And maybe give yourself the gift of the season of really doing more self-love and self-care. And then sharing it, spreading it.
Definitely.
Because you can spread it once you have it.
Absolutely.
And just keep filling up and spreading, and filling up and spreading. I love you guys. Thanks so much for coming on. Is there anything else you can think of before I go?
No, I think
Did you ever put that?
I didn't. Well, what we didn't tell you guys is the good witch is in the house.
She's been sitting on the table the
She's
whole
been sitting
time.
on the table here because it is warm in the kitchen, and here we are.
Well, maybe next show it will be a little bit
A
cooler.
little bit cooler, yeah. It was a little warm to wear the hat today.
Yeah.
But I did bring the hat, and I did put a little scarf on it to work with our chakra color today.
Green, and as I said, I've got the plants, you know, so we
Can't get any greener than that.
And we did a little cutting, and we had a little tea and a little yummies.
Yep.
And a little bit of awareness more around our connection and that vibrational frequency stuff. So I think we did good today.
I think so.
And I'm just going to send some blessings to everyone out there with some wonderful Reiki, and for anyone who's willing to receive. Blessings, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you again next show. Thanks for coming on, Joan.
Thank you.
It's been great. It's always fun to have you in the kitchen with
Thank
me.
you. Yes.
And get
It is.
served, too. See you again. Bye.
Gotta give her a hoot.